Republicans have really been telling on themselves recently. New data about the birth rates in the US just came out, and they are losing it. Why? Because fewer teens are having babies. And I don't mean like just 18 and 19-year-olds. I mean 15 to 19-year-olds. They are deeply upset that 15 to 19-year-olds are not having babies. Katie Miller, who is a Republican influencer, podcaster, and wife of Stephen Miller, who is one of Trump's top advisors, took to Twitter a few days ago to say, since 2007, the teen birth rate has fallen 72%. Hormonal birth control isn't just poison for women's minds and bodies, it's killing population growth. No, it's not. I made an entire YouTube video about this. Birth control has nothing to do with fertility rates, okay? Birth control just allows people to get later in their life without having an unplanned pregnancy, and then when they're in their 30s, they're just more likely to have fertility issues to begin with. It's not because of the birth control. Okay, continuing on. For the first time ever, birth rates for women in their late 30s have surpassed those in their early 20s. Okay, great. So people who are more financially stable and more emotionally prepared to have children are now the ones having children? What's the problem? Our biological destiny is to have babies, not slave behind desks chasing careers while our civilization dies. There it is, folks. If you have a uterus, it is your biological destiny to have babies. Oh, sorry, you have other ambitions? You want to have a career? You want to do something with your life that isn't just bear and raise children? Too bad. It's your fault that our civilization is dying. This is the right-wing messaging. This is what they are saying across the board. If you are a woman who is prioritizing a career above having a family in your 20s, it's your fault that our civilization is dying. You want to talk about women upholding the patriarchy? Katie Miller is doing just that. Because what do you mean you're going to blame women for the fall of civilization? Because we dare to want to have careers. I say this as a 32-year-old woman with a career and a toddler. We can do both. Also, this is not telling the full story. Because yes, even as annual fertility falls, most women are eventually having children. Yeah, they might be having them a little later in life, but they are still having them. So what we're seeing right now is that we are in this weird period of time where the fertility rate has not caught up because the people in their 20s and 30s who have not yet had children are contributing to this like falling birth rate, but they will probably have children. So if you look at these numbers again in like 10 years, we may be catching up more. They're just fear-mongering about the falling birth rates because they have this white supremacist great replacement theory bullshit that they're trying to push on people. That's what this is all about. That's why influencers are out here at CPAC saying things like, we should have more babies than we can afford before we can afford them.
If you're not encouraging your children to grow up and have the courage to get married and have kids, more kids than they can afford before they think they're ready, it is high time to start.
That's why that Fox News doctor said it's a problem that fewer teens are having children.
But the problem is teens and young adults. From ages 15 to 19, the fertility rate is down 7%, and it's down 70% over the last 2 decades, meaning we're telling people that are young not to have babies, to wait till they're in a more stable life situation, till they're more financially secure, maybe they haven't found the right partner.
That's why Katie Miller is framing this as women being responsible for the death of civilization and blaming it on birth control and blaming it on falling teen birth rates, which is a good thing. Fewer teens should have children. That's crazy to want more teens to have babies. It's actually good that fewer 20 to 24-year-olds are having babies and more people in their 30s are having babies because that means that they are more financially stable. These are the same people who are like, oh, you shouldn't use government services, but also have babies before you can afford them. Oh, also have more babies than you can afford. But as soon as you need government assistance, they're out here calling you a welfare queen. It's all connected. Don't let them convince you that the falling birth rate is actually a falling fertility rate because it's not. It's just a lower birth rate. They're calling it a fertility rate to make it sound like it's a medical crisis, which it is not. People's fertility is the same. People are just seeking fertility treatments more because they're waiting later in life to try to have babies, which is a good thing. Conservatives want to frame it as a bad thing because they want more women trapped in the home with babies they can't afford. That's how you control people. You keep them poor, you keep them overwhelmed, you keep them reliant on a government that doesn't give a shit about them.